afternoon, everybody, and welcome to One-on-One Live. Mark Jeffries here, along with my good friend, Mr. Gary Judici. And Gary, we are kicking things off in a very, very cold way.
It's unreal. It's unbelievable. I mean, the temperature is 34 degrees. The wind's blowing 21, 22 miles an hour.
It's a little chilly. It's a little chilly.
Humidity's 100%. It was misting when I came in just a minute ago.
We're gonna pull this thing off, and hopefully the guys that are competing today in our very first One-on-One Live, Mr. Shawn Goodwin and Bradley Hallman, hopefully in a 3-hour period, they will catch something.
A cold or pneumonia, maybe. No, these guys are great. They're great fishermen. They know this lake. You know, you and I both have fished this lake many times, and I refer to it as a brush piler's delight.
Yeah.
That's the cover on this lake. It's brush piles. Very few boat docks, very few anything. Yeah, little rock piles here and there, but mostly brush piles. And these guys probably have put some out their own selves. I don't know, but there's a plenty out there, various depths. That'll be the key, I'm sure.
All right, let's talk about the venue right now. I'm going to cue up this video. We're talking about Lake Thunderbird. It is a very small lake just outside the Oklahoma City metropolitan area. Yeah. It gets hammered. The Wednesday night jackpot, hey, if you can't win money on the Wednesday night jackpot, you shouldn't be fishing the Elite Series, right?
I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. But these guys on that jackpot, they're good. Yeah. And they know every brush pile out there. Yeah. They catch them.
All right, here's a look. It is a stained to dirty lake. This is actual drone video from a few weeks ago. The water a little muddy. The pool is a normal pool, and like you said, structure is a big deal here. Brush piles, rocks, a lot of clay, a lot of mud, and I'll put money on it right now, Gary. I'm sure we'll see some guys fishing the dam today.
Well, if I were there, I would be. I know that. There's a long riprap dam that hits various depths, and it'll be good. It'll be good, but the lake is devoid of cover. There's no grass. It's just tough.
All right, let's talk about the guys. The guys that we chose to do this, obviously with the weather and the forecast, we wanted to do this very first one with a couple of Oklahoma guys. We wanted to see what we had going on, and they're actually going to be competing MLF style. Everything they catch over 12 inches, they're going to keep, they're going to weigh, they're going to measure, boom, they throw it back.
Yep. Right. That's the way to do it, too. And I don't think the way guys are going to be too busy in this derby. I think it's going to be a little slow. We'll see. But Shawn Goodwin.
All right, let's talk about Shawn right here.
I tell you what, he's kind of an under-the-radar guy, but he has caught fish in many kind of tournaments through the years. He is a very good angler, He is an elite status angler. Yeah. He just doesn't fish that particular tournament series. He doesn't have the time, I suppose.
Oh, he's got a great job. He has a outstanding position with a Fortune 500 company as the director of marketing for a prosthetic company, and has worked with this company for over 20 years. Yeah. Does an outstanding job. But, man, he's been doing this a long time. His career earnings, a little over $260,000. He has 8 BFL wins. And when you talk about fishing the BFLs in Oklahoma, his name always rises to the top.
You know he's going to be there. You know he's going to be competing and doing well.
All right. He also won the 2007 BFL All-American. And he has fished over on the best bass side. His best finish a little while ago, 1998. That was back when you were fishing, Gary. The Central Invitational, I don't know if you can remember this one. He finished second. It was in December. They had to chip snow and ice off the deck of the boats, and he caught him on a buzzbait.
There you go. Sometimes those fall buzzbaits, though, you know.
I don't know if that's going to be the ticket today. All right, let's talk about Bradley Hallman, the former Elite Series pro. Really starting to dig his teeth in the FLW Tour. He got his first tour win on Lake Okeechobee. Also has a Costa win, Costa Series, and then also has a BFL win here on Lake Eufaula here in Oklahoma. Yeah. But hey, he's got $361,000 in earnings over on the bass side when he competed, Opens, Invitationals, and his Elite Series winnings that he had. He's got $239,000 in earnings over on the FLW side. He will be fishing the FLW Tour once again this year. And I'm going to go ahead and cue up this video. You can kind of get a look at what Bradley likes to do. He is a flipper. He loves to get that flipping stick out and flip. Here you're looking at some video of his win from Lake Okeechobee. Dude, and he was smashing them down there. It was windy, but it was right in his wheelhouse, and now footage of his Costa Series win up on Grand Lake. He's another guy, man. I know the locals sometimes dominate on Grand Lake, but even though he's not a local, his name always at the top of the leaderboard when it comes to Grand Lake.
Yeah, here he's fishing. I don't know what kind of time of year that is. It looks like early spring, maybe.
It was nasty weather.
And nasty.
Oh, and look what he's throwing, Gary. Throwing the spook, man. Love throwing the spook. So what we're going to do is we are going to kick things off here in about 3 minutes. We're going to go to live shots of both of these guys on the water, and then they're going to fish for 90 minutes. Then they're going to take a 15-minute break, kind of recompose, warm up, do whatever they need to do during that 15 minutes, and then we're going to go second half action for 90 minutes. The guy that has the total weight, hey, he's the winner.
What do you do in the case of a tie?
I don't think that's going to happen. All right?
I hope not.
And honestly, the gentlemen bet what they're fishing for is between them. I have no idea what they're fishing for.
So we have no prize at this end.
No.
Doing.
It could be $1,000, could be $10. Could be $500, could be $5, could be lunch at Chick-fil-A. I have no idea.
It could be a hand warmer.
I'm sure they have plenty of those, Gary.
They probably do.
Plenty of those. So here momentarily, we are going to go live to the water at Lake Thunderbird. And I've got some more information here that I want to throw up. This kind of gives you an indication of what the conditions are like right now. It's mostly cloudy. Air temp, it's around 38, 39 degrees, but the wind chill in the 20s, Gary. A south breeze, 10 to 20 right now. Water temp ranging anywhere from 42 to 46. Clarity, stain to money. And as we mentioned earlier, the water level, lake level, right at normal.
You know, I was a Yankee once. I don't know if you remember that, but I lived up in New York.
I do remember that.
And the water temperatures up there, that at this level, fishing could be pretty good. But down here, I've noticed fish want it a little bit warmer than what it is today.
Marcus has got us in southern Florida today, and it's July. The water temperature is about 80 degrees. We're actually on T-Bird, and it's right in the holidays between Christmas and New Year's and the end of December. And trying to go get a bite today that may be very difficult to do. We're looking at 42-degree water on the graph. Just a few hours to try to catch a fish. It's a lake that Shawn and I are both very familiar with.
Know one thing, I don't know if the bass will bite, but I bet I could catch some crappie today. Oh yeah. Tons of crappie underneath me. It's got an old single spin spinnerbait, bright orange and sturdy water. Got that big thump, a nice vibration. Fish really seem to key in on that when it's cold water. Yeah, 42.7 water temp. Not very warm. Better day to be out duck hunting, actually.
I keep thinking they're going to catch a fish, but in my heart of hearts, I'm hurting for these guys. That's tough duty out there, man. Cold, muddy water is the toughest, and they've got plenty of that.
Which I think is a little unfair. I'm fishing against an FLW pro. I'm just a weekend guy. I need every advantage I can get.
All right. Just fishing around a little T-dock here. See if we can pull one out from underneath it.
So I'm just going into these points like this. I have a little bit of deeper water, got lots of cover. First I go over that spinner bait, then I come back in and put this tube in there a couple times. And then on spots it looks pretty good, I'm throwing that jerk bait. Watercolor may be a little dirty for that jerk bait, but I've caught them before on that jerk bait before. And I don't think today I got to get too many bites, so I'm going to keep giving it a try. So we got kind of close down to the bank right here, and I got almost 15 foot of water. Big heavy cover. 43-degree water temp.
I tell you, there's one thing on one-on-one I'd like to make a new rule if we could. When they change baits, they show it to us. So I don't have to sit here. You know, we can tell if they're throwing a jerk bait or what, but I'd like to see it. What color is it? And how long is it? And this sort of thing. And what brand is it? We got to make that a rule, Mark. We got to know what they're fishing with.
We could do that.
That's important.
That's adjustments that we can make. That is adjustments that we can make on that. So we're looking at the split screen here.
So they get a 2-minute penalty if they don't show you what they're fishing with.
Brad's got something. Let's go to Brad here real quick.
Oh, yeah. And that's what lives in Thunderbird. Pretty good ones. Think she wanted it?
Viewers that watch this, they've got to be someone like me, and that's this second-guess person. I get, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Oh, I wish you'd do this. And I bet you, what's going on here? No.
Shawn got one?
No, yeah, he does have. Yeah, he does
Let's
have.
go to Shawn here real quick.
There we go. Off. Hey, all right. Start.
Everybody, welcome back to One-on-One Live. Mark Jeffries along with Gary Judici in studio. And Gary, we are getting ready for second half action here. Mr. Hallman leading Mr. Goodwin after 90 minutes on Lake Thunderbird. Each have one fish, but Mr. Hallman catching the big 4-pounder off the riprap, off the dam, of which I knew was going to be a factor.
You think they'll catch them better, or you think it'll be like it is?
I do. I think Shawn's going to make a move. He spent the majority of his 90 minutes back in a creek. I think what I'm really going to watch for in this second half is what kind of move will Shawn make?
Yes.
Is he going to pull out of the creek and start to fish a little bit more main lake stuff? And is Bradley going to continue fishing the dam?
I would have to guess Shawn will move and Bradley will stay on the dam, but you know, who knows? I can't get in their heads. They're thinking this through. They'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Well, first half wasn't too bad. You know, the temperature out here is not near as bad as I thought it was. I had several layers of clothes, so I took off a couple layers because it feels pretty good back in here where it's not too windy. But I got back in here kind of what I expected, you know, low 40s. I went past the mud. I got back to a little bit of clear water. I caught a keeper on a rogue. Tried several different baits. I had a black and blue jig, yellow rogue. I did a little bit of the A-rig and single spin spinner bait. But you know, Brad was out there on the main lake and he caught a 4-pounder, and I just caught one little bitty one. So I just don't think I think I need to move out to where the bigger fish are. I'm going to fish in just a couple of spots here. I kind of see a little bit of water. It looks clear. I'm going to fish that for a few minutes. If that doesn't work pretty quick, I'm going to head on the main lake and start trying to fish some windy points and things like that.
We're going to start back here where we left off with the first half and try to go back down this rock a little more. I'm just crawling this crankbait over top of some of these rocks. I've got one more little spot I want to hit at the end of this period, and it's close, so I've still got one little sleeper spot up my sleeve that I want to try. But with the wind slowed to lay down a little bit, and it's not blowing quite as hard as it was in the first period when we came down this stretch. To be honest with you, it'll probably help me with boat positioning a little bit better, but I should be able to pick up another fish or two coming down this thing.
I've been in here 2 hours and I've only caught one little fish that weighs a pound. Why am I still in here? I guess one reason is I'm stubborn. But two is I know the kind of fish that live in this area where I'm at. There's a bunch of big fish in here. I really like the conditions I'm seeing. And I know, I'm guessing Brad's probably out on the main lake fishing and he's not killing it. So I keep telling myself to move, but I keep thinking also stick with this. I've got the right conditions. So I could hit the right tree here and catch 2 or 3 fish really quick. Or I could sit here and keep filling water, not get anything, but we'll make a move here pretty soon.
It's a big one too. Somebody needs to tell Paul George I need a fishing partner on Wednesday nights.
Alright, so we've got about 40 minutes left. Brad's got over 9 pounds, just caught him a 5-pounder, which is pretty typical of this lake. Got a lot of good fish in it. That's why I'm way behind. So I moved out main lake here. I'm fishing around a bridge, got a little wind coming into it, got some riprap. Kind of the stuff that you'd hope there'd be a fish on. There's a little bridge here, got a little, with the wind, got a little current coming through. So maybe that'll get us a fish set up here on one of these pillars. But only 40 minutes, I gotta hurry up and catch one. Or 2 or 3. It's all right, it doesn't take long to catch 9 pounds in this lake. It's just a couple casts.
Gary, both guys making a move here. 30 minutes. We approach the 30-minute mark left in this match. And, wow, that 5-pounder looming large for Hallman.
That's the deal, man. He's got it in a sack. I think it's going to be tough to catch up with him now. What's an 8-pound difference? And as slow as the bite is, you can't depend on a couple 4-pounders. So you got to go for it. I just don't see how it's possible. But out there, they do catch big fish now. So he's that way of thinking. Shonn's one cast away from winning this thing, but I don't think so.
That's what I didn't want to do. Is I didn't want to run around trying to hit 20 spots in an hour and a half. It's just not a long enough period to bump places. There's the power poles finally hit. That's telling me we're getting shallow. And it's tough, this wind blowing behind me, to keep this thing on line where it needs to be. Not easy. You're either going too fast or too slow, or too deep, or you're too shallow. It's going to be right in the middle. Just barely bump along. All right. Just fishing here, a little breakwater. Got some big old tractor tires here breaking the water in front of this marina. I've caught lots of fish underneath the windbreaks like this on this A-rig, so
See if we can get us one here really quick. Just a short little spot, only be 2 or 3 minutes to fish it, we'll be done. We got some saugeye here too. Bird's working a little bit out in the middle. I don't see them diving. They're looking for shad to eat.
All right, Gary, last 15 minutes. We going to see some drama here the last 15 minutes?
I don't know. I sure hope so. Bradley's saved his best spot for the last few minutes of the game. I think Shonn might be, just panicking. I don't know, panic's a good word, but maybe it is. He stayed in that dead gum creek that whole time, and now he's out there fishing around some. I think he went, I haven't seen the spot yet very good, but I think he went to over there by that ramp, a bunch of,
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go to Shonn here just in about 15 seconds. See if he can rally back. 13 and a half minutes remaining.
All right, here's probably my last spot. We only have about 15 minutes left. Some main lake rocks, a little wind coming into it. Water color is pretty good. It's in about 20 foot of water. Off into these rocks. I'm throwing an A-rig. Don't have time to really slow down with anything else. See if we can't get a couple bites real quick and at least scare Brad a little bit.
All right, Gary, we are winding down the final 5 minutes of our first one-on-one live. And I got to be honest with you, dude. I don't think anybody's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat on this one.
No, I think the fat lady's singing a good song right now.
Man, A-rig rolling over that rock feels good. I guess we're all done here, so this cast doesn't count. But hey, I liked what I did. I felt like I put myself in positions, areas I thought would hold fish. Good conditions this time of year. It's just hard to get get bites. Brad's FLW pro, so he knows exactly what to do. He went out and caught him a couple of big ones and one going away. But glad to be out here. Love to fish against guys like Brad, and not the first time I've got beat. Won't be the last. So that's it for me all day. Now I'll pull out the crappie rod and get after him.
We're finishing up today here on Lake Thunderbird. We had a good day, I guess, for the little short time periods that we had. Caught my fish today on a crankbait. Actually, this little flat-sided Strike King I showed to you guys earlier if you were watching. It's just it's a flat-sided 1.5. And the reason I chose the flat side is because the water temperature, and it being wintertime, it's got that real tight water. Tends to get a little better bite than some of the lighter water crankbaits this time of year, this kind of water temperature. No doubt, the right size of fish were on that rock that I was fishing there on the dam, and it's tough with the time frame of this episode. We're doing it in an hour and a half, and you're trying to fish slow and crank slow. You got that clock going off in your head and you're winding, but if you had an 8-hour tournament, I think you spend all your time out there, you'd probably walk away with 5 pretty nice ones. But good day, enjoyed it. It's always fun to fish in the wintertime. When you get out, it's never as bad as you think it is once you finally get your clothes on and you get outside and get to doing it. Anyway, appreciate it. Thanks, Mark, for asking me to come, and hopefully I get to do it again.